Hello everyone, it's FarmSimGuy here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Saxthorpe Farms. This is the new map coming very soon from Farm Sim Brisco. If you recognise that name, it is because he is the creator of the Oaks, the 4X map that has been incredibly popular in FS22. Now, while the Oaks was Farm Sim Brisco's very first map, Saxthorpe Farms is, in essence, everything he learned whilst building the Oaks, and also everything he's learned in between, and you really see the difference. I mean, the Oaks was a fantastic map, but this is on another level. He's done a great job with this. We're based down in Norfolk again, which is where Farm Sim Brisco comes from. It is based on a real place, and you'll see that through the PDA. Now, when you start this up as well, it does prompt you, which is very good. If the required mods aren't in your mods folder, and will download them for you, and if they are in your mods folder and you haven't selected them, it will ask you if you want to select them first. So nice way of doing it. I think it really helps map makers integrate mods into their maps, but also gives the credit to the mod makers themselves and gets them the downloads through the mod hub as well. So really nice way of doing it, and that's been done on this map very nicely by Farm Sim Brisco. So before we go too much further, let's jump into the PDA, let's have a look around, let's have a look at the field sizes and things like that, and then we'll go for a little drive around. So there we go, there is the PDA. As you can see, varying sizes of fields and quintessentially British. Not a single one of them is square. Like I said, this is based on a real place, so you can see the underlying image is actually Saxthorpe itself, which is down in the bottom right hand corner. And you can see the road network moving about and the real farms actually down there. So what we've got actually is we've got, this is where we are at the moment. This is our start point to all intents and purposes. And we'll have a quick look around those there in a minute. And then we'll head along here. There's a BGA here. We've got a couple of other farm areas just down here. Saxthorpe Village just here. Again, a couple more sell points up here. Grain, predominantly grain sell points. Although we have got a sawmill here. And then we'll head up here to all intents and purposes, the main farm. It's a big dairy farm or a big cattle farm. Now, Norfolk is predominantly arable. They do have cows, but it is a predominantly arable area, hence the big fields and not a lot else in terms of sell points other than grain sell points. You do have an animal dealer over here as well, so we'll go and have a look at that on the way around. There are, in fact, 6 grain sell points on the map, which again suggests that this is predominantly arable based. Now, in terms of fields, 21 just here is the biggest. That is coming in at 1.4 million, just over. If we're going for small fields, 41 and 42 are the smallest marked fields. 41 coming in there at 52,000 and 42 coming in there at 56,000. But there is, just down here, a nice little grass field, which is unmarked, but you can get that for 36,600. You own, in fact, all 3 of these when you start a new farmer mode. So nice to see that, actually. Look how dotted across the map your fields are. You are starting on the relatively small side of things and hopefully building up from there. So let's go back to where we first spawned. We'll have a look around. There's a lot of the starter equipment here as well, so we'll have a quick look at that. And then we'll probably take a run down here. We'll stop and look at the grain sell points here and here. Then we'll head along here. We'll look at the BGA. We'll look at this farm set up here. We'll drive into the village. We'll drive up past these sell points here and loop round to the big cattle farm at the top, stopping on the way to look at some of the scenery and some of the field sizes and things like that. So this is where you spawn. And as you can see, you don't get much to start with. In terms of equipment, you do get, I think, everything you really need to get yourself started. We'll jump in and we'll have a look at that in a little minute. But over here we have got some very nice buildings that are really in keeping with, I think, with kind of UK farms, red brick. Always nice to see. Very in keeping. For me, that's important on a map, that it feels like the buildings on the map fit in with the area that you're in. So nice to see indeed. In terms of what you own from the off, we have got 2 fence, the 920 and the 916. Slightly older, but nice to see. The old Class Dominator Harvester, the 108. Nice combine. Everybody I know is a big fan of that combine. I'm going to skip cars because I've bought one to drive us around. Trailers, we've got the Quacko trailer, a 141. Got a header for our combine. We have a plough. We have a cultivator. We have a power harrow. We have a seeder. We have a sprayer. And we have a header trailer for our combine. So not masses of equipment, but certainly enough for you to go through the whole season from one end to the other, doing everything you need to do. So let's head down here. There's your home. Static caravan type accommodation. We've got our silo here, which is quite nice. Another one of these red buildings here, which I think are really nice. I'll pop these open as well. Doors open in these, so you've got some storage in here as well. There we go. You've got some seed in there as well, and some fertilizer. There's your sprayer as well. Really nice. Like I said, very in keeping with the area. You've got another one up there as well. In fact, that's the back of the other one that we were looking at before, which you can see you've got your seeder sitting in the back there. And there's your two tractors. Looks like we've got some lime in that shed as well. And then you've got another big shed down here. So all in all, although there's not much other than the sheds, it's a rather nice little starting farm and something you can definitely start and build on. Which is great. So, now we'll just head up. We'll open this gate here, because up to the road there is another little area, just a little bit further up. Now, I did park my Discovery on the road here, so there's the starter farm. We're going to head up from there, just a little bit up the road here, and we're going to hang a left, because there's another little, I would call it a small holding of sorts, down here, that you enter from a little gravel road, just here. You can head down here, and there you go, you've got some more sheds down here. You can store some more equipment in here. Got 3 sheds. An open area as well, which you could utilise for, I don't know, a grain silo or something like that. But it looks good. I like it. So heading out of here, before we go back to the start farm, I'm just going to go up here and I am going to show you the first of many grain sell points. Just heading past these fields here as well. As you can see, it feels very rural, very British, which is a nice touch. He's also done a very nice job on the edges of the map. So that there is a roundabout that he's built into the edge of the map. 1, to keep the traffic flowing, but 2, it really hides the edge of the map very, very well. I'm big on that from an immersion perspective, is making sure that the edges of the map don't just look like the edge of the world and you fall off them. So he's done a beautiful job with that, and he's done a really nice job with the landscaping as well. Even just look at the gravel on the ground here. I think it's really nicely done. But here we go. This is one of the grain sell points. And drive over, unload here very easily, lots of space to turn around, and head back out. So let's head back to the main, or the starter farm, shall we call it that. I will say this is an early release version, so there may be a few bugs in this, which he'll be ironing out, and if I spot anything, I will report back to him. So let's head down here. Although it's showing as a one-way road, Saxthorpe Grain is down here, which is another one of our sell points. So I'm going to just run down here, past the yard here again. There we go, there's our starter yard. Now right down here and around on this road is where another grain sell point is. There we go. Looping around there, quite a big shed. And then we've got our unload bays there again. Very nice. So here we are, pulling out onto the main road. We'll just roll along here. You can see some nice entrances into fields. There is a lot of gravel roads on this map, which again is in keeping with the area and very familiar right across the UK actually. A lot of farmers tend not to spend a lot of time on the roads unless they can help it, so a lot of farms have networks of dirt tracks all the way around them, which allows them to get from A to B and through various places without interrupting or getting snarled up with the traffic too much. Some lovely little features like this as well, just houses sitting at the side of the road, as you can see there, gates down into fields, and it does look very nice. There's some real British vibes from this map. He's done a fantastic job of capturing the essence of British farmland here. I really like it. I'm impressed so far. I'm trying to drive slowly as I head along here because I want to give you an idea for the size of some of the fields. As you can see left and right here, there are some pretty substantial sized fields. There's the BGA over there. We'll go and have a look at that in a minute. But some nice big fields here. So you can get away with using some decent sized equipment as well. Not sure if it's the extra large stuff. I'm not sure you're going to see many quad tracks and things like that down here, but certainly medium to large. You probably get an 7R or an 8R down here with no problems at all. Here is the BGA, and I've talked about this before, but very much in keeping with UK farming and agriculture, there is a myriad of stuff left around the yard. Piles of dirt and gravel and skips and things like that, so this is very good. Even all the cracks in the concrete and the weeds going through them, it's very British farm-like. Nice silo bunkers there, nice storage sheds there, and the BGA. It's a very nicely laid out BGA. There's lots of space to turn around and reverse in and things like that as well, so great stuff. Okay, let's head along because we're not a million miles away from the next farms, which are slightly bigger. So again, if you want to imagine starting on that small starter farm there, and as you work your way up you can potentially buy new land and expand the farm, this is one way of doing it. So here we go. We shall just pull in here. Really nice junctions on the roads as well, and he's done a great job with the British signs. Really nice. Everything's as it should be, which is great. So we're just rolling through here. There is some farm buildings down here. Again, more red brick. Around here we've got some sheds. Again, space to turn round, drive your vehicles in and out. Access to the fields here as well, which is nice. Nice big sheds. And a house as well. And he has put a few of these around the map actually, which I like as well. Just these open spaces where you can add more sheds, silos, whatever you want. Slurry pits, animal pens, the whole lot. It's very nicely done. So that's one side as we roll out of here, and over here we have got, I'm not sure if it's part of the same farm or you could use it as two separate areas, but more sheds here. You've got a storage silo, and like I said, just nice and compact this one, not a lot of extra space here, but merge it with that other one. It could be a rather large farm. Is there that narrow lane rolling off down there off the map? Very nice. Okay, now let's head up into Saxthorpe village itself. So back to the main road again, houses and things like that. Imagine the farmer and the farm workers living in those. Again, lovely, nicely done junctions, and just the detailing on the road and things like that, very nicely done. Just let this car go past, and we'll head out in front of that red car. There we go. Welcome to Saxthorpe. Again, like I said, the attention to detail on the road signs and things like that, very nicely done. Very nicely done. Now this little village down here is, I think, really, really nice. Let's try and stick to the speed limit a bit, but we'll roll down to the village. Nice undulations there as well. Not everything's flat, so we're going past these houses. There's the gas station. It's not a big village. As you can see, you can roll through here. A couple of sheds there, nice houses. Little lake in the front there. More buildings. And another farm you could buy there. In fact, let's just roll up there and have a look at that. So you've seen it. Just pull in here and open the gates. More storage there. Very flexible yards, these actually. You've got a lot of scope to run these how you want to. But another one of those red brick buildings there, which is very nice. Again, that lived-in look that he has on all of these farms, really, which is great. And there's some nice big sheds up here as well. Nicely done. Separated off from each other. But nice storage. Just check that's not a bunker. It's not, it's just a standard shed. This is a very long shed, this one. There we go. Concrete sides, so maybe storage for grain there. They are not silage bunkers though. Even though they look a little bit like those. Very good. Right, let's head back to the car. Right, although that is the road we want to head up, we're just going to head back into the town here, because the dealership is just down the end of the road here, which I want to show you. There we go. Lovely village church there as well. That's very in keeping with everything. So we'll run down here again. More storage there. Just a nice storage shed at the side of the road there, which is good. And we will pull in here. There's a rather nice, wealthy house in here, which is worth looking at. Slight Italian feel to that one, but a lovely house. And go back out onto the road and down to the dealership. Down here we've also got another grain sell point here as well. So there you go. Grain sell point. Again, nice and spacious. Ability to drive quite a large truck into there and turn it around. And here is your good old-fashioned local dealership. Corrugated mossy roof and everything, but a nice class dealership there. Looking really good. And a nice big yard, so you can actually buy quite a lot of stuff before you run out of space. Right, let's run up past a couple more of these sell points just up here. So here we go, running along this quite narrow road here. But there we go. East Coast Grain, another grain sell point and a bale sell point in there. So you can sell your bales in there. And just further up here is the sawmill. We'll pull in here, and it's not just a sawmill. You can obviously get rid of any wood that you want to cut down. Not that there is masses of forestry on this, but you have that as an option if you want it. But you also have another grain sell point here as well. Very nice. Okay, we're pulling out of the sawmill here. Again, a very large space on the other side of the road to put another sell point, another production, whatever you want there really. Again, well thought through by Farm Sim Brisco. He's giving people options on this map, which is very, very nice. Now, we're going to head all the way up and over now. In fact, we've got a couple of options here. We're sitting here on the map. There's probably gravel roads that will take us all the way to them. In fact, what we'll do is we'll take the road here, and it's gravel roads all the way to the farm. The main road runs along here. So it'll give us an opportunity to check out some of these gravel tracks and see what they're like. But even, you know, things like the branches and the twigs on the floor, deer running about in front of you. They're quite bumpy, some of these as well, but this is great. I really like this. He's done a great job of landscaping this. Most impressed. Right, a bit of guesswork as to where I'm going now, but I'm sure we'll find the way. So here we are heading along. As you can see, we're in some of the bigger fields further up the map, and they are huge on both sides here. These are massive fields. It does give you an idea for the scale of the fields. It is a standard size map, so one of those maps that does that kind of optical illusion of making itself feel bigger than it actually is. It's very cleverly done. And as you can see here, this network of gravel roads taking you to all of these fields. It's all off-road from basically way back all the way down to here. And here we are at the biggest farm on the map. Now, like I said right there at the beginning, this is predominantly an animal farm. As you can see, these big stalls here ready for cows to be added, and some nice storage sheds as well. So very nice, and again very in keeping with British farms. They feel very British indeed, these. A little bit older, a little bit dirtier, but very much looking like a British cow yard for sure. Not much in the way of, there's no farmhouse here. It is just a big collection of sheds, so very much a working yard. Interesting layout on the inside of the shed there with those steel girders coming down, so you need to be careful when you're parking in there. But then you've got these slightly older oval buildings as well. There we go. Nice little details. Does that door open? It does. Oh, you've got a little tool shed in there. How cool's that? And then this big concrete building here. There you go. You're going to get a lot of stuff in there. So, really, really good, busy, big yard with lots and lots of storage. Right, just for a reference point, we'll jump to the map now as well, so you'll just get a bit of an idea of where we are. So there we are, up at the top here. So we ran along this bottom road here, and then we ran through the village up, but we split off here at the edge of the tip of field 42 there, and I think we headed up here, around there, along to there. So basically we'll head down from this yard now, and it will rejoin the tarmac roads here. We can head all the way down until I think we'll need to go all the way down here and along here, and we can head up the road to the animal dealership is up the edge of the map here. So we'll do that little road trip now, and we'll check out the animal dealership. Here we are heading up here again. On the way we've got another empty space here just itching to be built onto, which is nice. And then yes, right at the edge of the map here, the tarmac road runs out, and we move on to this slightly more beaten up old road down to the animal dealership. And again, these unkept kind of hedgerows and, you know, established, well grown in hedgerows are very, very, it's a very British thing, and I like it. He's done a great job of modelling this, he really has, and landscaping it. Hats off to him. So here we go, the last stop on the tour is the animal dealership. Again, nice big area to drive into. You get articulated lorry in there, no bother at all. And even once you're in here, you've got space to at least drive in, reverse, get your truck lined up, whatever you need to do. You're not going to be struggling too much, but again, access to fields here as well. There's another relatively big size field. Again, a couple of sheds here as well. Animals walking around as well, which I always like to see in a dealership. Makes it again feel a little bit more authentic, but there we go. Beautifully done. So there you have it. That is Saxthorpe Farms from Farm Sim Brisco, and it is great. I am properly taken with this. If you are looking for a British map at the moment, this is one that you should seriously consider taking a look at. Like I said, at the moment it's about to be submitted to Giants for testing. He's trying to get it onto all platforms. So again, console players, this could be a really great map for you. Just a really nicely done map. Great attention to detail, ticks the boxes from authenticity for the area that it's based on. It is a real place as well, which I always like for maps. It's just great. I'm really impressed, and like I said, the Oaks was a fantastic map. That was his first map, and he was very gutsy doing a 4X as his first map. But he's taken everything he learnt from that and he's poured it into this, and you can really sense and feel the difference. This is a high quality map, it really is, and I'm really impressed with it. So, like I said, coming soon, hopefully for all platforms, if you can get it to work for all platforms. But it's a great map, so keep a lookout for it. And congratulations, Farm Sim Brisco. I'm really impressed with the rate of improvement and development that I've seen since you contacted me, and we had a look at the Oaks together way back when. So hats off to you, man. You've done a brilliant job. But there we go. Keep an eye out for it. Hopefully it's coming in the not too distant future. And for now, from me, thank you very much for watching as always. Take care. Bye for now.